Hi class, this is Miss Leisure. We're talking about quadrilaterals today, specifically the trapezoids and the kites. This is the last unit on quadrilaterals. Yippee! Alright, so trapezoids and kites, here we go. Alright, so we're still talking about those two bottom objectives, the sides, angles, and the diagonals that we're going to be applying and getting to know. Consecutive sides, we're going to be using that today with kites, so please remember those. Quadrilaterals. Now, let's talk real quick because we're going to be over here talking about kites today, trapezoids and isosceles trapezoids. So let's talk about what a trapezium is. A trapezium is one that most teachers do not teach. It is just a quadrilateral. It doesn't fit anywhere else on here. There's no parallel lines. There's nothing special about its angles or diagonals. So, a trapezium. I just wanted to show you in case you ever hear about that word. Alright. Now, so let's just review this chart real quick. And let's talk about a trapezoid. So, if it is a trapezoid, is it always, sometimes, or never an isosceles trapezoid? Is a trapezoid always, sometimes, or never an isosceles trapezoid? Sometimes. Remember what we talked about. We said if you're going down the chart, it is sometimes. If you're coming up the chart, it isn't always. Excuse me. And you can't go back and forth. So this is a sometimes. A trapezoid is sometimes an isosceles trapezoid. Now, an isosceles trapezoid is always a trapezoid because you're coming up. And a kite is never a rectangle because you can't jump back and forth. Or a kite is never a trapezoid. Okay? So review that chart. Okay, so let's talk about a trapezoid. We've got two bases, the base 1 and the base 2 at the top. Those are the parallel lines. Alright. And we have the left and the right legs, and we have a mid-segment as well. And remember a triangle. In a triangle, the mid-segment was equal to half, 2 times the mid-segment was equal to the base. Or you could say the mid-segment was equal to half the base. I don't know why I'm writing in yellow. Oh well. So, in here, a mid-segment is equal to half the two bases added together. So we're basically just averaging the top and the bottom added together. Alright? An isosceles trapezoid. So now we're going to add in the opposite legs being congruent and the diagonals. Here we go. Alright, for a trapezoid, only one pair of parallel sides, so your top and the bottom again. Still have that mid-segment equaling half of the two bases added together. Now this is where we add a few things. We have the non-parallel sides, and that just means that these two legs are congruent. We have the base angles that are congruent. So here we have base 1 angles. The orange ones are congruent. Whoa. Sorry, class. Alright, there we go. We also have the two yellow angles, the base angles being congruent. And we have the diagonals are congruent. Now, the special thing about these diagonals, one, they don't intersect at the midpoint. So this is not the midpoint. However, it does end up that these two are congruent at the top, and these two are congruent here at the bottom. Alright, moving on to the kite. We have two pairs of consecutive congruent sides. So the left and the right on the top are congruent, and the left and the right on the bottom are congruent. Remember, consecutive sides touch. So these actually intersect here at the bottom. The non-vertex angles are congruent. So the left and the right angles, here and here, are congruent. The diagonals are perpendicular, so there we go. They intersect at right angles. The diagonals between the non-vertex angles bisect. The diagonal is bisected. Oh, I think I've got the picture drawn wrong. Here we go. Okay, so anyway, let me go ahead and put the next one up. There we go. So the diagonal between the non-vertex angle is bisected. That's this diagonal here. These are the non-vertex angles. These are congruent. So if this was 20, then this would be 10, and this would be 10. And then the vertex angles are bisected by the diagonal. So these here at the top, let's say this whole angle was 80. This would be 40. This would be 40. And this would be a different measure, though. This would be maybe 60 degrees. So this would be 30, and this one would be 30. All right, any questions? Okay, well, that is it. We've finished the quadrilateral unit. We'll review this and probably get ready for a test. So thank you for visiting the Leisure Math channel. Have a great afternoon, and we will see you tomorrow in class.